Here's a quick overview of the past 30 years of my life. I was born. I was warm and sleeping, and then all of a sudden there were noises and lights all around me. Things have gone steadily downhill since. At my first birthday party, I was apparently a little too tired to enjoy it, so I took the chocolate cake and smashed it all over my face. Maybe this was an early warning sign of my destructive behavior. We move to the house that my parents are still living in. My oldest sister pushes me down the stairs. I was the first to be injured at that house. Preschool. I only had sisters growing up, and I never really had any guy friends. So as the girls played on one side of the room and the guys played on the other, I just sat in the middle of the room, confused. Man, I hated nap time back then. I would give just about anything for that now. I was also beat up by a 6th grader for talking smack. Imagine that. A girl passes me a note that says, "I like you. Do you like me?" with little yes and no boxes. I check no, and apparently I feel as though I need to explain myself and write, "You're fat." Cat tests. I score high enough to be placed into AG. You can all see the fruits of that, huh? I learned cursive and cursing all in the same year. And I also learned what Irish Spring tastes like. This was the first year I made straight A's. Don't get used to it. Doesn't happen again until my senior year. This is the first time I heard the word sarcastic. I was told to look it up when my teacher called me sarcastic and I didn't understand what it meant. My reply, "You want to know the meaning of a word? You look it up." Irony. At the tail end of this year, I slip on some mud trying to sell magazines for a school fundraiser and crush my chin on some brick stairs. 15 stitches needed. My school spirit dies a little. Halfway through the year, I find out I'm supposed to be in advanced English. I didn't read the books for the regular English class. Now I just have more books to ignore. I'm diagnosed with a disease that no one's really heard about before. It's called ADD. When I told my teachers that I had it, they'd never even heard of it before. I started attending Royal Rangers, and I still have recurring nightmares about those pants we had to wear. I get saved in a church I just started attending. Sadly, I was recently attending because of a girl and not because of religious dreams. I realized my skill in architecture and graphic design and plan to go into that as my major, and then apparently I forgot to do that. For the first time, I ask a girl out. She says yes. This was also the year of my first kiss, which I thought was so unbelievably gross, I never wanted to do it again. That girl breaks up with me for the reason that God said we're not supposed to be together. 3 years later, I find out why. Graduation. 3.4 overall GPA, which is pretty good considering I almost failed my freshman year. I'm the only person that can get bored at East Carolina University, so I start skateboarding. Slight mishap on a skateboard in a steep hill. I spent 8 hours in the hospital. I lost a lot of blood and skin. Nothing broken, but I got 7 more stitches that I would eventually remove myself. Oh, and I scraped off a nipple. But don't worry, they grow back. By the beginning of this year, I gave up on a girl for the first time. I just couldn't take it anymore. And hundreds of people watched as she walked away in the airport. She cried, and for the first time in a while, I smiled. I head to Southwestern Christian University and begin my battle with the rulebook. By the end of the first semester, I'd broken 8 rules and had new rules implemented because of me. See also, swimming pool in dorm room. I'm the RA of the new dorm, and it floods every morning for a week. Whatever happens in Colorado stays in Colorado. Man, I wish that was as cool as it sounded. First box lore video completed. Started dating Ashley. SCU graduation. Now I have to start paying back all those student loans. Crap. I ask Ashley to marry me. She says, "Are you kidding me?" I moved to Memphis to take my first youth pastor position. I have my first lock-in. Some kids go missing and return a few hours later drunk. At one point, one of them was naked, then proceeded to throw up in the church on the carpet. I was pretty sure I was fired. In May, I get married. I also learned to play ping pong. Cody and I start our best 100 games out of 199 series. Cody beats me 100 games to 98. Seriously, it was that close. I leave Memphis and head back to Oklahoma City where I start working in the World Missions Department as the videographer. Ashley and I buy our first house and get our first dog. I head to Haiti. At one point, I didn't think I was coming back. I bought my first HD camera and worked as the DP on Bad to the Jones. I also knock up Ashley. I changed jobs to work at Hobby Lobby Corporate, and Caitlin is born. And everything changes. And now you know.